Life doesn't destroy you all at once. No, it's slower than that. It hits you when you least expect it. When you're just starting to believe things are getting better, that's when everything begins to fall apart. One problem becomes two. Two becomes 10. And suddenly, you're sitting there in silence, wondering how you got here. No warning. No explanation. Just pressure, heavy, suffocating pressure. And in that moment you feel it, that quiet voice in your head whispering, "Maybe I can't handle this." That's the moment this message is for. Let me tell you something most people won't say. Life is not fair. It doesn't care how hard you've tried. It doesn't care how good your intentions are. You can do everything right and still lose. You can give your best and still be disappointed. And that's where people break, not because life is hard, but because they expected it to be easy at some point. But here's the truth, pressure is part of the process. Not a mistake. Not an accident. Not something to avoid. It's something you must face. Now listen carefully. What if this moment, this pain, this struggle, this confusion, is not here to destroy you, but to reveal you? Because when everything is taken away, comfort, support, certainty, what remains is who you truly are. This is where the unbreakable mind is born. Not in comfort. Not in success. But in chaos. Picture it clearly. A warrior on his knees surrounded by fire, holding chains in his hands. Not because he's weak, but because he's been fighting. Every chain represents something: doubt, fear, failure, pain. And yet, they are starting to crack. Why? Because something inside him refused to quit. Here's what you must understand. You don't control what happens to you, but you control how you respond. That's where your power is. You can choose to stay down, or you can choose to rise, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when you don't feel ready. Because strength is not a feeling. It's a decision. Every time life hits you, you have two options: stay broken, or become stronger. Every setback is training. Every failure is a lesson. Every painful moment is shaping you. You are not being buried, you are being built. And the more pressure you survive, the harder you become to break. So stop seeing yourself as someone who is struggling. Start seeing, and when you say those words, "I will not break," don't just whisper them like hope, say them like a decision. Because there will be days when nothing changes. Days when you wake up and the weight is still there. The pressure hasn't left. The problems are still waiting. And that's where most people lose. Not in the big moment, but in the quiet repetition of hard days. They get tired of trying. Tired of believing. Tired of carrying what no one else can see. But understand this. Consistency in pain is what creates power. Anyone can be strong for one day. Anyone can fight when motivation is high. But can you stand when you feel nothing? Can you move when everything inside you is telling you to stop? Can you keep going, without applause, without results, without recognition? That is where the unbreakable mind is forged. Not in motivation, but in discipline. You see, motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like emotion. But discipline stays. It wakes you up when you don't want to move. It pushes you when you feel weak. It reminds you that your feelings don't control your actions. And once you understand that, you become dangerous. Because now, life can't control you through discomfort. Now, pain doesn't stop you. It sharpens you. You begin to walk differently, think differently, respond differently. The same situations that once broke you now build you. The same pressure that once crushed you now strengthens you. And people will notice. They won't understand it. They'll wonder how you stayed strong when everything was falling apart. But they didn't see the nights you fought in silence. They didn't feel the weight you carried alone. They didn't hear the battles in your mind that you refused to lose. That's what makes you different. You didn't escape the storm. You became it. So the next time life hits hard, and it will, don't panic. Don't run. Don't break. Stand there. Feel it. Face it. and remind yourself of who you are becoming. Because this is not the end of you. This is the making of you. And one day, sooner than you think, you won't recognize the person you used to be. The fear will be gone. The doubt will be weaker. The mindset will be stronger than anything life throws at you. And when that day comes, you won't just survive life. You will master it. So rise again. Not perfectly. Not effortlessly. But relentlessly. Because an unbreakable mind is not given. It is built. One hard moment at a time. And the truth is, it never really gets easier. You just become someone who can handle more. That's the part nobody likes to hear. Because deep down, we all hope that one day the struggle will disappear. That life will suddenly become soft, predictable, and easy. But that's not how growth works. Every level you reach will demand a stronger version of you. Every step forward will introduce a new kind of pressure. And if you're not ready for that, you'll keep running in circles, chasing comfort instead of becoming powerful. So stop waiting for easy. Easy doesn't build anything. Easy doesn't transform you. Easy doesn't prepare you for the life you say you want. Hard does. Pressure does. Pain does. And the moment you accept that, you stop resisting the process. And you start using it. You begin to see challenges differently. Not as obstacles, but as opportunities to prove something to yourself. Not to the world. Not for validation. Not for applause. But for you. Because at the end of the day, this is personal. It's you versus you. The version of you that wants to quit. Versus the version of you that refuses to stay down. The version of you that doubts. Versus the version that believes even when there's no evidence. The version of you that fears the pain. Versus the version that walks straight into it and grows. Every day, that battle is happening. Quietly. Internally. And every decision you make is casting a vote. So ask yourself, who are you becoming? Because this isn't just about surviving hard times. It's about transforming through them. It's about becoming someone who doesn't fold under pressure. Someone who doesn't collapse when things go wrong. Someone who doesn't need perfect conditions to move forward. That is power. Real power. And once you have that, life can hit you as hard as it wants. It can throw delays, failures, disappointments your way. But it won't break you. Because now, you understand something deeper. You understand that nothing is permanent. Not the pain. Not the struggle. Not the storm. Everything passes. But who you become in the process, that stays. That becomes your identity. So build it carefully. Build it intentionally. Build it through every hard moment you face. Because one day, someone will look at you and see strength. They'll see confidence. They'll see control. And they'll think it came naturally. They won't see the pressure that shaped you. They won't see the moments you almost gave up. They won't see the internal battles you fought alone. But you will. And that's enough. Because you didn't do this for them. You did this so that no matter what happens in life, you can look at yourself and say, I've been through worse, and I'm still standing. So keep going. Even when it's slow. Even when it's painful. Even when it feels like nothing is changing. Keep going. Because every step you take is proof that you are not the same person you used to be. And that right there is the definition of an unbreakable mind. And even now, as you stand in the middle of everything that feels uncertain, unfinished, and heavy, there's something you need to understand on a deeper level. You are still here. Not by accident. Not by luck. But because, despite everything that has tried to take you out, something inside you refused to shut down. Think about that. There were moments you didn't think you would make it through. Moments where your mind was loud with doubt, where your body felt drained, where your spirit felt tested beyond what seemed fair. And yet, you didn't disappear. You bent. You struggled. You questioned everything. But you didn't break. That means something. It means there's a level of strength inside you that you haven't fully recognized yet. A level that only shows up when life becomes uncomfortable. A level that doesn't need perfect conditions to exist. A level that doesn't rely on motivation, hype, or external validation. It's quiet strength. The kind that doesn't need to prove itself to anyone, because it has already proven itself through survival. And now the question becomes, what are you going to do with it? Because surviving is one thing, but transforming, that's another. You can go through pain and remain the same. Or you can go through pain and become something entirely different. That choice is yours. Every single day, you are either reinforcing your old self, or you are building a new one. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, every excuse you accept or reject, it all adds up. You are shaping your identity in real time. So if you keep telling yourself, "I'm tired, I can't, this is too much," your mind will start to believe it. It will look for evidence to confirm that story. It will create limits that feel real, even though they were built by repetition, not truth. But if you shift, even slightly, and start telling yourself, "I'm still going, I can handle this will make me stronger," something begins to change. Not instantly, not magically, but gradually, powerfully, permanently. Your mind begins to adapt. It begins to see challenge not as a threat, but as a signal. A signal that growth is happening. A signal that you are stepping into something bigger than your comfort zone. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Growth always is. Because you are literally becoming someone you have never been before. And that process will stretch you. It will test your patience. It will expose your weaknesses. But that's the point. Weakness exposed is not weakness confirmed. It's weakness being given the opportunity to evolve. So don't hide from it. Don't run from the areas where you feel unsure, unprepared, or not good enough. Go there. Face it. Work on it. Because every time you confront what you once avoided, you take back control. And control is everything. Not control over life, that's impossible. Life will always be unpredictable. But control over yourself. Your reactions. Your discipline. Your mindset. That's where your true power lies. When you can stay calm in chaos. Focused in distraction. Disciplined in discomfort. You become someone that life cannot easily shake. And that doesn't mean you won't feel pain. You will. You'll still have moments of doubt. Moments of fear. Moments where everything feels overwhelming. But the difference now is, those moments won't define you. They'll pass through you. You'll feel them, but you won't become them. That's mastery. Not the absence of struggle, but the ability to move through it without losing yourself. And that's what most people never develop. They wait for life to feel good before they take action. They wait for motivation before they commit. They wait for clarity before they move. But waiting is what keeps them stuck. You don't need to feel good to move forward. You don't need to feel confident to take action. You don't need everything figured out to start. You just need to move. Even if it's small. Even if it's slow. Even if it's imperfect. Because progress builds momentum. And momentum builds belief. And belief changes everything. Once you start seeing yourself making progress, even in small ways, you begin to trust yourself more. You begin to realize that you are capable of more than you thought. And that realization is powerful. Because now, you're no longer guessing your strength. You're experiencing it. You're proving it. You're living it. And once that happens, something shifts permanently inside you. You stop fearing difficulty. You stop avoiding pressure. You stop shrinking in the face of challenges. Instead, you lean in. Because you know that on the other side of discomfort is growth. On the other side of effort is progress. On the other side of persistence is transformation. And suddenly, life hitting hard doesn't feel like an attack anymore. It feels like a test. A test you are now prepared to face. A test that no longer intimidates you the way it used to. Because you've built something within yourself that doesn't collapse under pressure. You've built resilience. And resilience is not just about bouncing back. It's about becoming stronger because of what you've been through. It's about carrying your experiences, not as weight, but as weapons. Every failure becomes wisdom. Every setback becomes strategy. Every painful moment becomes perspective. Nothing is wasted. Everything is used. That's how an unbreakable mind operates. It doesn't ignore pain. It transforms it. It takes what was meant to weaken you and turns it into something that strengthens you. And that's why, moving forward, you have to change the way you see your struggles. Stop labeling them as problems. Start seeing them as preparation. Preparation for a stronger mindset. Preparation for a higher level. Preparation for a life that requires more from you. Because the truth is, the life you want will demand a version of you that is disciplined, focused, and resilient. And if you're not there yet, life will keep training you until you are. So don't resist the training. Embrace it. Lean into it. Grow through it. Because one day, you'll realize that the hardest moments of your life were not there to destroy you. They were there to build you into someone who cannot be easily broken. Someone who doesn't fold under pressure. Someone who doesn't give up when things get hard. Someone who stands, even when everything around them is falling apart. That someone is you. But only if you choose it. Only if you commit to it. Only if you decide, over and over again, that no matter what life throws at you, you will not break. You will bend. You will struggle. You will feel the weight of it all. But you will not stay down. Because now you understand something most people never do. Strength is not given. It is earned. Built through repetition. Forged through pressure. Refined through pain. And every single day you show up. Every single moment you choose discipline over comfort. Every single time you rise after being knocked down. You are building that strength. Piece by piece. Moment by moment. Until one day, you won't even recognize the version of yourself that once doubted. Because that version was temporary. But what you are becoming now is permanent. So keep going. No matter how hard it gets. No matter how long it takes. No matter how many times you have to start over. Keep going. Because an unbreakable mind is not something you find. It's something you build. And you are building it right now. And now, as you read these words, it's time to realize something essential. The moment life hits hardest is the moment you are being forged. The fire, the chaos, the relentless pressure, it is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Every setback, every failure, every sleepless night, every time you felt broken and unsure, has been shaping something far greater than temporary comfort. It's shaping you. The unbreakable version of you that refuses to bow, refuses to quit, refuses to surrender to fear, doubt, or failure. That version is rising inside you, silently, patiently, relentlessly. So here's the choice before you. Will you continue to let life break you, or will you take control of your response? Will you rise again, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you feel weak? Strength is not something life gives, it is something you earn. It is built through perseverance, discipline, and refusal to quit. Every moment you choose to stand when everything inside you says stop, you are claiming your power. Every time you choose to move forward, no matter how small the step, you are proving your resilience. And that is what makes you different. That is what makes you unbreakable. So right now, take a moment. Decide. Make a vow to yourself. I will not break. I will rise. I will grow. I will become unshakable. Say it aloud if you need to. Write it down. Let it echo in your mind every time life tests you. If you are ready to keep building your unbreakable mind, then subscribe, follow this journey, and stay close. The next message, the next insight, the next story could be the one that changes everything. Stand tall, rise strong, and never stop. Your unbreakable mind is being forged today,